Hi guys, and welcome to another day. Now this is slightly different to normal. I started with a sped up footage, obviously, as you've just seen. Well, I'm at Norwich today, again, that wonderful little back way. Last night I was uploading the 7 Series BMW introducing Simon, and my laptop auto updated again. Now I have turned every auto update I can physically find off, and I'm at a complete loss. I just want to sling that laptop across the room. I know it's not the laptop's fault, but it's doing my head in because I've got everything lined up. I've got everything sectioned. Go to upload it. I wake up in the morning expecting to have the little email saying congratulations, maybe a couple of responses or comments, and it's all updated. And the really annoying thing, the real bugbear for me, is that when I go to re-upload it, it doesn't take on where it left off. It used to be fine. You know, it didn't matter whether it was 10% or 99%. It would pick up where it was and carry. It doesn't do that anymore. I don't know why, it just doesn't do it. And I'm just getting so fed up with the entire thing. Because I'm trying to get back into doing a daily upload, whether it's a day off or not. And now that my other half's shift pattern has changed, I can do things on a Monday again. Or, I say again, I can start doing things on a Monday. And it just uploaded. So I'm a bit frustrated about that. But anyway, moving on to what I want to get onto today. Now I have been asked this question repeatedly by... I've lost count of how many people. And I know I've touched on this subject before, but today it's a little bit different. It's a little bit more what you are going to come across in the real world, and that is, how do you find somewhere you've never been before, or a destination, a collection point that, okay, it's on an industrial estate you've been to before, perhaps, but you don't know where. Well, obviously if it's somewhere you've been to before, it's pretty simple to find. But what happens when you got a collection and you've never been there? How do I go about doing that? Now, a lot of people will sit there and say, use your prat nav. This is a Snooper 8 Series, okay? It's got digital radio in it, free view, all the whistles and bells. Now, that's perfectly fine. You get the correct postcode, you're sorted. But you might not always get the correct postcode, or you might have, on your paperwork, it might not have a postcode. It does happen. So what do you do then? Well, you could always phone them. Now that's always a good thing to remember. If you've got the phone number for them, phone them. But there is an issue with that. And a lot of drivers who've been driving longer than 5 minutes will know exactly what I'm about to say. You phone them, and it's either you've got through to head office and they don't have a clue, or you've got through to the destination you're going to, again depending on the size of the company, and you've got work experience guy, or you've got Dippy Deirdre, or you've got checked out Dave. You know, you've got the person who's quit, it's their last day. You've got Dippy Deirdre who don't know what the hell's going on, or you've got the work experience person. And those conversations are draining. You know, because they always answer the phone the same way. Yeah, this is Big Dave. Okay, hi. I've got a collection from you guys. I've never been to the site before. Can you help us, you know, get there? Whereabouts are you? Well, I don't know, bruv, do I? Hold on a minute. Oh, Dave! Hey! got a driver. Wants to know how to get here. Yeah, use roads. Yeah, yeah. Okay, no worries. Well, I drive. Yeah, Dave knows, but he's going to take a piss. And you get that, and ooh, it drives you nuts. You want to drive. You want to jump down that phone and lamp them. So what do you do? What's a good way to start? Well, with today's technology, you've got on your phone Google Maps, and you have internet, and you've got Google. So you go on there, and I did this today. I'm going to a site I've never been to. Fortunately, it's on an industrial estate I have been to, so it's going to be relatively easy. But I didn't know that at the time, and there's a reason for that. You see, we get given our collection documents. Now, I can't really show you it in depth because obviously it's got the supplier's name on it. But we get given our collection documents, and it tells you the company. Now, obviously I can't tell you the name of the company, for obvious reasons. And it's got Joe Blogs. Cool. And it says such and such a place. Lovely. So I've gone onto Google, as I always do, and I recommend this, and I've sorted out Joe Blogs such and such. Doesn't have a clue. Doesn't have Scooby. So I put Joe Blogs in. It's in a whole different place. Ah. Now what? Because according to this, that place doesn't exist. There's a reason for it. You see, you get a small company, and I've had this before driving for things like places like Sainsbury's, and they're a small local company, and you know how big retailers want to push local gear. You know, for all the stores in that locality, in that region, they want to push the local producers. It's an advertising thing. It's oh yeah, look how good we are for the local da 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 da, right? Well, they use small suppliers, local suppliers. They don't have massive yards. They don't have big production facilities. Most of them tend to be on those small little unit style industrial estates in town or on the outskirts of town that have like hair supplies and equine supplies and a car repair place, you know, the really tiny places that you struggle to get a KA into, and then we end up turning up in these and you're like, oh, that's gonna sting. But the thing is, small companies, that's where they start, but then they grow and they supply these people and they supply those people and all the other people. So what you end up with is you get a small company that's gone to medium size, but they can't take these style of vehicles. So what they then do is they look around frantically for either a warehouse that can, where they can deliver their stock to themselves and then we pick it up, or they look around for, say, a general haulier, a warehouse and distribution place. And that's what's happened today. Joe Blogs Limited is in one place. For argument's sake, let's say it's in, well, I'm in Norwich, so let's say it's in Norwich, okay? Whereas, where I'm picking up from is in, I don't know, let's think somewhere along the way back from here to Snetterton. Okay, there we go, Snetterton. Yep, perfect. I thought of a racetrack then, so Snetterton, that'll do. It's in Snetterton, okay? For argument's sake. Well, Joe Blogs is based in Norwich, so anything I find on the internet is going to take me to Norwich, the head office. Now, I've done this once before, and it was a fair few years ago. It wasn't for this company, it was for Sainsbury's. And I had my Prat Nav. I'd been feeling rough all week, and I had the postcode, and I thought, oh, I'll just put that in, job's good. I didn't double check anything, and I ended up in the centre of a town at the head office. It wasn't nice. It was very worrying. I've wandered into reception and she's just looked at me going, no, you go to our partners down at such and such. And I was like, okay, can I get out if I carry on round? No. Well, I can't reverse out onto the high street. She went, well, we can't carry on. I ended up having to phone the non-emergency number and get the police to come and stop traffic and let me out. And fortunately, they didn't do me. They didn't, you know, have a proper go. They gave me a slap on the wrist, but that was a lucky escape. So, what's occurred with this small company is they've found General Haulier Warehouse Distribution Company. Okay, so Joe Bloggs Limited has found John Smith Limited. John Smith Hauliers. Okay? John Smith Hauliers are based in Snetterton. Now I've been frantically looking for Joe Bloggs. Well, I can't find Joe Bloggs. But via Joe Bloggs' website, via all of that, it says working in partnership with John Smith Haulage. Have been working in partnership for X amount of years. Ah, where are they? Found out. Oh look, their address matches that address. You see, the company you're rolling for is going to give you the address with the company you're picking up from's name on it, because that's their invoice. That's how they structure their invoice. So you're going to get the printout of what's on their system, because they can't invoice the haulier. They've got to invoice the company, the supplier. So in that situation, use Google Maps. Find who the storage, the warehouse is that they're using, and then find out and cross-reference the address. It is a pain. And of course, the easiest thing to do would be just phone them and go, oh, hi, I'm da-da-da-da-da-da, can you tell me where you are? And then they'll tend to tell you, oh, well, actually, you've got to go to so-and-so. But, like I said, you could get somebody who doesn't know anything. So cross-reference everything you can. Now, fortunately today, this place is next door to another place I pick up from. So, I already know it. But earlier today, I was looking and I was like, I can't find it. How the hell am I going to find this? What the hell? Because that doesn't... This is based in Norwich, whereas that postcode is in Snetterton. And immediately, when you've made the mistakes I've made in my driving career, you think, they've put the wrong postcode down. And they haven't. They've put the correct postcode down. They've put the correct everything down. It's just what they've done is they've used the name of the supplier instead of the name of the warehouse, the name of the General Haulier Warehouse and Distribution that the company's working in partnership with. So you've always got to try and remember that, because just because it's written down there doesn't mean that's correct. So the easiest thing to do, other than phoning, because like I said, this is a scenario if you phone them and it's through the head office and they don't know, or you've got work experience Dave, or whatever. Yeah, this is if the phone number is useless. Find the company, find everything you can about that company, put in every search you can think of, that company based in that location, everything you can. Eventually you are going to hit gold. You are going to hit working in partnership with Sadadada, and then find out where they're based, if they've got a place in that area, and if they have, check it with the address. And fortunately today the address coincided with the General Haulier warehouse, so I thought I'd do a little bit on that, because one of the biggest fears you guys have, or the new guys I should say, sorry, is how do you find somewhere? Well, it's pretty simple if you've got the address and it's correct. But what if it isn't? And the phone number doesn't work? Or, like I said, you've got through to somebody who just doesn't know. Then what do you do? Because you really are out. Because you could wander back in and say, have you got a map to this place? No. Because all they're going to do is they're going to look at, even if they can make you a map, they're going to look at the postcode, which, like I've said, could be wrong, and they're going to give you one of those Google printouts with a route on it, and they're going to highlight the route they want you to use and go, well, that's where it is. And then you end up the other side of the town. That's happened before. That has happened before. Because it could be a new supplier. So what do? Find out everything you can. The more information you have, the better. So Google the company. Okay, the company's headquarters is there. Well, obviously that's more often than not where you're going to be going. So now what? Well, let's have a look. Let's just Google the company in that location. Nothing. Right, okay, this is going to get annoying now. Well, let's Google the name of the road in that location. This one, the name of the road, is technically the name of the train station, not the name of the road. That road doesn't actually exist in the location I'm going to today. So I was like, what's going on? Everything's going wrong. And I was going through it, and it was purely by fluke. I saw a little segment, and it's working in partnership with so and so in such, for the last 5 years, 6 years, whatever. So I've gone down, and it's got so and so address, and I'm like, that's the same address. So I've quickly Googled that one, found it on the industrial estate I go to relatively regularly, and I thought, bonus. Do not ever rely on this. Never. I don't care. This is all whistles and bells. This is a truck nav. This is set to my height, my length, my width, my weight, everything. But I do not trust this as far as I can sling it. I use it as timing, and I use it as to just take a little bit of chaos out of the drive, especially if I'm going somewhere that's in a town. But what you need to do, if you're going to be new to this, and it is a bit convoluted, I know, find out everything you can about that company using Google. And then cross-reference everything you know. Because sometimes you'll be lucky, and at the top, they will actually have the initials or the first part of the general haulier's name. And you'll be able to look at it and go, I recognise that. And then you'll be able to find them at that address. But sometimes you won't have that, like today. You won't have that. And that place, that company at that address doesn't exist. And the road name is the name of the train station at that location, not the road. Because the train station is known as such and such road, and of course somebody who's entered it in has gone, oh, that's the road name. No, it's not. That road doesn't exist there, or the location I'm going to. That exists somewhere completely different. So it's a complete freak out moment, because the company doesn't exist in that location, the road doesn't exist in that location. Now what the hell am I doing? So find out everything you can, and try and find out who they're using as warehousing, general haulier distribution warehousing, because that's where you're going to pick up from, because the site is a small company and they can't take this size of vehicle in the scale they need to. They can take 1 or 2, but now they've got this, they're supplying this company and that company and the other company, they've had to find somewhere else. Because I actually found their company, and I went on Street View, and it's in the middle of a housing estate, and they do have a yard capable of taking these, but not a lot of them. So it's very clear what's happened. They've found a general haulier to go in, send 1 or 2, maybe 3 vehicles in, whatever, load them, take them back to their warehouse, and then we go and collect from them. So always bear in mind that kind of situation. But anyway, I think that's enough for today. I'm obviously at the end of the day going to do the old, because I'm in an Actros again, I'll do the old how I've got on our fleet boards done, so on and so forth. But I wanted to cover this kind of thing because I'm asked this question so much. Do you just know the roads? Do you have to memorise the Great Britain Atlas? No. But at the same time, you can't just rely on Snooper. What you've got to try and do is arm yourself with as much information as you can about the company you are going to pick up from. Find out everything you can, because just because it is written on your document doesn't mean it's correct. As I've found out today. I mean, The company, no, that's not in that area. The road, it's because the train station's called that. It's not actually the road. And so you're just sitting in the yard going, oh, now what am I going to do? Because the only thing, sometimes the only thing you can do if you go into panic mode about how am I going to find this, is you use the postcode, and that can land you in so much trouble. So try and find out everything you can. Failing that, if you can't find it out on Google and you're really unsure because of the cock-up that's happened, that I've come across today, phone them and just stay on the phone. If you get Divvy Dave or Dippy Deirdre or whoever, get them to patch you through to somebody else. But anyway, like I said, I wanted to cover that today. That's all this is going to be. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share about, do whatever it is you usually do. I will see you in the next one, which is tomorrow. I do have a shift. Yay. And I will end, because I'm in an Actros, with how I got on today. Cheers, guys.